We could be in for a great night at the Boston Garden as the Bruins line up against the Moscow Dynamo. The gentleman in charge of proceedings tonight will be Dave Newell, flanked by the linesman Ron Asseltine and Kevin Collins. And the starting goaltenders for the Moscow Dynamo, 30-year-old Vladimir Mishkin, top goaltender in the Soviet Union, career average of 3.11 goals against. And goaltender of record for the Boston Bruins this evening will be Doug Keane, with 10 wins, 7 losses, and 3 ties. His goals against average, 3.31. Keane has had a pretty good season for the Boston Bruins so far. A team that is difficult to beat at home has had some problems on the road, Jerry Cheever.
Yeah, they've lost, one game at home, and they've been quite the opposite on the road, John, too. But, you know, we all try to slip up these games against the Soviet, and I saw during the national anthem, the team really picked up. There was great singing by the part of Rene there, and I could see the, you know, really getting into the game during the anthems. I could feel it right here, and the building came alive very quickly.
Well, there's an awful lot of emotion involved with international hockey at just about any level. And when the Soviets and North Americans get together, it can be something special. This is not the best team in the Soviet Union. In fact, the Moscow Dynamo are second best and still looking for their first victory of the North American tour. But it's a pretty flashy hockey club. I think you'll be pretty impressed tonight when you see them live. I know you've been watching on TV, Jerry. But live, it's a little bit different sometimes.
It sure is, John, too. But here they go.
Forward front for the Soviets, Varnikov with Svetlov and Yashin, and quickly to the attack. This is Varnikov. Henderson takes it away from him. And this is Ray Bork. Bork to the line. Bork as an open man. It was Courtnall. Courtnall couldn't control it. Comes up with it in the corner. Middleton leaves it there for Courtnall now. Courtnall working along the boards. Now for the Soviets. Middleton is down. Ilya Leftinov was in there, number 17. It's rough already. Early moments, period 1. There's Middleton out in front. And Svetlov gobbles it up for the Soviets. He's going to take a check. Courtnall got him. Shot fired just wide. And it comes all the way down those crazy boards in the Boston Garden as John Blum goes back to touch it and set it up on the left wing boards. Courtnall banked it off for Derlego. Now it's back for Courtnall. Soviets claim it the center zone. Svetlov back behind his line for Gluchenkov, number 28. This is Zubrilchev. Zubrilchev left it there for Antipov. Out in front, loose. Luzak for the Boston Bruins. Takes it off the glass. Pass ahead for Derlego. Derlego now crosses the line. Man open, it's Crowder. Crowder going in. Mishkin the save. Back to the line. Shot fired, and Mishkin grabbed it out of the air. Let's take a look at this one. Max Tallinn, a bullet drive. Mishkin.
Well, Mishkin, they all have the fast gloves in the Soviet, and Mishkin made a tremendous save here in Tallinn. Crowder beats the defenseman, goes in, elects to go around Mishkin. He gets his toe on it. Sees Tallinn coming in, and he lets a rocket go here. And bang, it goes right in the glove. But I think the important part of this was that Bork set the tone in the first 10 seconds of the game.
From a higher angle, Jerry, we'll give you the bird's eye view.
Crowder makes a good shift. Michigan gets a toe on it. Crowder retrieves the rebound. He sees that the Soviet defensive outfit is in sort of deep, and elects to pass it to Tallinn, who makes a good shot, and Michigan a good save.
The stadium maintenance staff is tending to the ice surface just up in front of Michigan. Something has been tossed on the ice, and there are 4 members of the Garden staff out there tidying things up. It is not a full house, but an enthusiastic crowd. We mentioned the security at the top of the show. I don't know if you saw our pictures, Jerry, coming in before the anthem, but the camera was jiggling quite a bit. That was well, security guards holding onto the cables at the other end, because security is very tight here.
It is tight, but someone snuck in with some sort of a cherry bomb there, John, and it might not be a packed house here, but they are rapid.
I was going to say, I don't know if bomb's the right word to use. I think
well, cherry bomb is okay.
Face-off will be in the Soviet zone. Baryanov with Skurduk out there, and Perudnov to the line, not out. Kept in that time by Nienhuis. Selvin, number 22, kept in the other side. For the Bruins, here come the Soviets. Baryanov tried to get it ahead. Long shot, Keens to save. Good one that time. Koikin. Back into the Soviet zone, Koikin. Flips it out. Selvin. In for Dave Facine. Facine into the corner. Kasper comes up with it for the Bruins. Kasper. Lots of room. In behind the goal for Facine. This is Nienhuis now. Nienhuis to the side of the Soviet goal. And it's cleared around on the boards. Keens out of the net. Out in front. Loose Soviet. Crawling out in front. The save was actually made that time by Brian Curran, the defenseman. Betsky left it there for Antipov. Crowder breaks it up. Now Nienhuis along the board. Orshevsky taken out, number 8. Bruins winding up. Mishkin down to cover up on a long shot that came out in front. Scoreless in the first. Pretty good action.
Yeah, John, the Bruins haven't allowed the Soviets to get organized just yet. I'm sure that's their game plan here in this building.
Face-off will be to Mishkin's right. That's Yashin, 13 for the Soviets. Going against Reed. It goes in behind the Soviet goal. Luchenkov. Luchenkov ahead for Svetlov. Now Luchenkov once more back behind his line. Plays it back there for Piatanov. Yashin is checked. Luchenkov starts out. Long pass to the right side. Barnikov couldn't control, and Crowder comes to the line and across. This is Crowder, man open out in front. Couldn't slip it through. That was Dave Reed. Soviets on the attack, led by Yashin to the Boston line. Out in front. Cleared across in front of the Boston goal, guarded by Doug Keens. As for Ray Bork. Here's Bork across the line, takes the shot. Blocked by Gluchenkov. Yashin once more. Ran into Middleton. Carried on. Didn't get a shot away. Flipped it into the corner. Keens had it taken away, but Bork covers up. Bluzak. Good stiff body check. Neutralized. Here's Middleton. In after it. Flipped it out in front. Pedersen couldn't get a stick on it. Courtnall takes a check along the board. That's Jeff Courtnall. Here's Middleton for the Bruins. Middleton in for Courtnall. Courtnall played it across. And Tallene couldn't keep it in. Number 27 goes back for it. He's paired up with George Bluzak, number 6 in the Boston defense. Middleton chopped at it. Got it out across the line. Here's Courtnall with Pedersen. Courtnall took the shot, comes back to Courtnall. He played it back for Middleton. Selvin for Courtnall. Long shot. Mishkin the save. Middleton trying to work it out in front. Fired just wide by Pedersen. Well, the Soviets now. Verbuchen, number 5. Ahead to Zabrocek, intercepted. Here's Courtnall going in. And he's ridden out nicely by Bilyaletdinov. 17. Crowder in after it. Couldn't come up with it. Baryanov starts for the Soviets. Center ice to the Boston line. And across, left it for Perudnov. He sent it into the corner. It's back for number 17, Bryuins. And for the Bruins now, Derlego. Bill Derlego, a check in along the boards. Crowder got it for Burridge. This is Burridge working in against Bryuins. Burridge still has it. Slid it out in front for Crowder. He tried to slide it for Derlego. And there was no play. John Blum now for the Bruins. No score, first period, Boston and the Moscow Dynamo. For the Soviets, Berianov, number 12. This is Bryuins. Soviets trying to find some skating room in the neutral zone. Borshevetsky going in, got it ahead for Sashov, 15. Out in front, Andy Pop fired it just wide. Luchenkov fired a shot, stopped by Ray Bork. Bork along the boards to the far side for Burridge. And back into the Soviet zone. Not many whistles so far.
Not really, John. The Bruins got these guys bottled up pretty good here right so far.
Casper laid a pretty good check on Pyatanov. Antipov taken out by Bork. Blum covering up out in front. Blum got it ahead. It's going past Casper. Pyatanov tried to hit it on the right side for Borshevetsky. Passing, man open is Casper. Shot, Mishkin. Great save by Vladimir Mishkin. That keeps it scoreless with 12 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the opening period. The Boston Garden, let's look back to a big save by Mishkin, Jerry Cheevers.
Well, Casper hesitates a little bit. Then he takes another stride, and once again he gets it up on the glove side of Mishkin. I know what they want to shoot high, but from that angle, too, I think you got to get it down. But they got the right idea in Michigan. It's just they're a little too far out on him right now.
Scoreless in the first. The Soviets have the big line out there now with Yashin, Varnikov, and Svetlov. This is Yashin. Checked by Nienhuis. Dave Pacine fires it in. Boshikov for the Soviets. Ahead for Yashin. Back pass. And over on the right side. Good opportunity for Svetlov going to center it out front. Couldn't get a pass away. Back to the line, to the point. Popian took a shot. It didn't make it through. This is Kluzak. Gord Kluzak for the Bruins. And his pass goes all the way down. Casper after it. Mishkin played it. Svetlov has a man open, getting set for the shot was Varnikov. He fired it wide of Keens. Kept in by Yashin. Keens misplayed it a little bit and had to cover up out in front. Lack of communication down there, possibly.
Well, these boards are sometimes unpredictable, too, as you saw there. And Keens reacted quite quickly. But he's played here before. He knows where the puck's going most of the time.
You can likely sit at this vantage point, Jerry, and tell us exactly where it's going to bounce out to.
Well, no, like I say, it's unpredictable here. Dougie goes to play it. Well, actually, Dougie himself misplayed it. That's why he had to freeze it. It wasn't the boards in that instance.
Face off in the Boston zone. Soviets got it back to the line, but Bryuins couldn't keep it in. And that forces Antipov to go back for it. Bad pass. Crowder claimed it out in front. Couldn't get a shot away. Curran kept it in for the Bruins. Pass for Antipov. And he fell down trying to bring it in. Cleared in the central ice area again. Bryuins for the Soviets. Scoreless in the first at the Boston Garden. Moscow Dynamo and the Boston Bruins. Leonov dropped it back for Zubrelchev. Zubrelchev got around, got too far outside. Couldn't get a shot away. Leonov tripped along the boards by Dave Reed. And the Bruins collected in behind their own line. Pass didn't quite make it to Reed that time. Bryuins couldn't take a pass. Claimed by Keith Crowder. He just dumped it in. Michigan had to make the save. Verbuchen taken out Harley. by Miller. That's Jay Miller. Long pass on the right side. Skurduk going in. All alone on Keens. Keens is down. Skurduk has the first of the night. As Keens went down, really didn't have much of a chance on that one as Skurduk went in all alone. But maybe he committed a bit too early. How did you see it?
Well, these guys are tough, the Soviets, in a breakaway, but the problem started up around center ice. Raymond Bourque elected to go for the interception, and it got over his head. The Russian made a high pass. Then the Soviet winger come in. He held. How long can you hold it? He just held and threw it up over Keens.
Skurduk has given the Moscow Dynamo a 1-0 lead in the Boston Bruins. And here they come again. Perudinov, the shot. Keens to save that time. Rebound fired wide. Perudinov back to the line. Shot. That one ricocheted off the post and into the corner. Perudinov comes up with it for the Soviets once more. Keens, another big save. And the Bruins get it down the ice. Couple of big saves for Doug Keens.
He sure did. He's got his eye on the puck pretty good here, and he was sort of dormant the first 10 minutes, but they've come to life now, the Soviets.
Sashov got it in across the line. Picked up there for the Bruins by Courtnall, who starts back. Courtnall tried to slide it through for Derlego, and that didn't work. Soviets in control in their own zone. They lead it 1-0. Long time between whistles in international hockey at times. With 8:56 to play, the Dynamo lead by 1. John Wells, along with Jerry Cheevers and Jim Van Horn, were at the old Boston Garden for the first major international hockey exhibition in some time. Back in 1979, the Bruins met the wings of the Soviet. Tonight, the Bruins meet the Moscow Dynamo. Michigan, big save right off the faceoff. Crowder lined that one up. Derlego got it out front. Burridge couldn't handle it. Kluzak played it over on the right side. Derlego comes back to play it. And it's back for Kluzak in the Boston zone. Crowder broke a stick. Andy Bob went down. No call. Kluzak for the Bruins now. This is Matt Stalin. Stalin just dumps it in. Michigan makes the play. And Pervukin starts out for the Moscow Dynamo. Bruins move into forecheck. Pervukin forced to toss it away, and Pacine comes to pick it up. Now Sheldon. Yashin for the Soviets. Ahead for Barnikov, 22. And he's written out by Nienhaus, 38 for the Bruins. This is Craig Nienhaus with the scene. Now Curran, back to Nienhaus. Soviets back checking. Svetlov can't get it out. Winding up with a shot. It trickled through. That time off the stick of Teldin. Michael Teldin, number 22. Michigan makes the save, an easier one than several. We'll remind you that more international hockey comes your way on the Sports Network when we conclude this series. The Moscow Dynamo against the Buffalo Sabres. That's coming up Wednesday. Start time 7:30 Eastern. And we'll get back to the regular season in the National Hockey League on the 12th of January, a Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time, for the Calgary Flames and the Philadelphia Flyers, live from the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Cheevers, you'll be along on both occasions.
Well, John, the last time they were in the end here, the Bruins won the draw. I got myself saying we, I shouldn't. And it resulted in a great shot by Crowder and again by Bourque.
An opportunity for the Bruins there with Middleton parked on the doorstep. Here's Middleton claiming a loose puck. Played it for Peterson. He didn't see it coming. For the Soviets now, number 25, Andy Pop. Jeff Courtnall took it away and got it inside the Soviet line. Now the Dynamo are down and plump. For the Bruins goes back to touch it. They'll take it all the way down. 6:43 to play in the first period. Moscow Dynamo have a 1-goal lead on the Boston Bruins.
Well, John, the last two scoring opportunities the Bruins got was due directly to the face-off, being won by the face-off. Derlago won one and Peterson won one, and they have two good scoring opportunities. It goes back to Bork eventually. He makes a shot, and Michigan again makes the save. But it was due to winning face-offs in their end, which they won again, but weren't properly placed.
Up and over the boards, out of play, so the face-off will be outside the Soviet line this time.
Outside of the goal, and maybe a minute after that goal, the Bruins have contained the Soviets pretty good, I think, and they gambled and lost on the goal too. But they played a pretty strong period, the Bruins.
Mike Milbury is behind the bench for the Bruins tonight. Butch Goring is watching from high in the press box to get a different vantage point of his team. Assistant coach Mike Milbury is handling the line assignments at the Bruin bench. This is Courtnall for Ray Bork. Bork in across the line. Good move to get around. Back to the line. Blum set to scores. The shot from Blum. It might have gone off. Courtnall out in front. How'd you see it, Jerry? Big shot, big shot.
Yeah. Ray Bork makes a good shift here. He hangs up number 20. Gets it over to Blum, and I know they've been working on Blum to get a shot just in the net. And it creams off Courtnall and goes in. Once again, we see Blum's job here is to make sure he gets it somewhere close to the net. He takes something off it, hits Courtnall, and bounces by Michigan.
The assist to Blum and to Ray Bork, and it's even at 1. Here at the Boston Garden, good play by Kluzak to keep it in at the line. Here's Crowder. He lost it. Antipov sends away Borsavetsky. Number 8. He can't get around Salim. Ricocheted out in front of the Boston goal and was quickly backhanded out of the way by Crowder. And for the Soviets now, Perbukin, number 5. Perbukin cleared it into the Boston zone. Borsavetsky, number 8, after it. Couldn't control it. And the Bruins will be called for icing as they take it all the way down.
John, I think this is going to be the first or second, maybe, face-off in the Bruins' end. So you know when you don't have many face-offs in your end, you're getting the better part of the play. And I think this is just their second face-off in the Bruins' end for the Soviet.
There's Jeff Courtnall, credit for the first Boston goal. Really the work done by Mr. Bork and Mr. Blum. Courtnall was in the right place out in front and got the goal. 1-1 with 5:14 to play in the first period. Here's a break for Yashin. One man to beat. Yashin puts on the brakes, tried to clear it through. Loose out in front, and Keens made a brilliant save. As they had Keens going every which way that time. The Soviets had a couple of chances, but Keens came up with a big stop. There were opportunities out in front.
Dougie he lets himself go and he drags it to 2 legs, and the puck is stuffed in there too. But opposite from the first goal the Dynamo go, Dougie, he had to go down the first goal. If he went down like here that early in this goal, on this particular play, it would have gone in. But he held the fort and made the great save on Svetnov.
Yashin was the Soviet who broke the play up the ice and set everything up. Good play by Doug Keens to come up with a save. Now the Bruins back to the Soviet line. Kelvin, the shot right on. Michigan the save, the rebound. Nienhaus, the shot. Michigan again. Gluchenkov recovering for the Soviets, got it to the line. And it's up now. This is Svetlov, number 14. Svetlov was upended. Gluchenkov back for Svetlov. He can't play it off the board. And Kasper gets it across the line. This is Basine. Basine is ridden down by Antipov. And Yashin with Svetlov. To the line. In for Svetlov. And back of the net for Yashin. He tries a stuffer. And Keens had the corner well covered. Ray Bork into the corner after it now. Couldn't come up with it. Cleared out in front of Svetlov. Fanned as he tried to one-time it. And he fouled. For the Soviets, he falls. Svetlov pinching in. Working along the boards against Casper. And Svetlov didn't win that one. Bork has his man all tied up in there, too. The puck is just resting on the boards. Finally, they get a whistle just as it came loose. It is 1-1, Moscow Dynamo and the Boston Bruins. Will continue from the Garden after this. Well, we talk about stone faces in the National Hockey League at times. When you look at that Soviet bench, Jerry, there's a lot of stone faces over there.
There's not much emotion there, that's for sure, too. They must have it in their bodies somewhere. I don't know when it comes out, but it's certainly not in games like this.
Head coach is Yuri Moisiev. We'll have the face-off in the Bruin zone. And from the face-off, Oshikov keeps it in at the line. Celine, 27. Tried to get it out. Didn't. Now Pedersen carries it out across the line. Soviets back-checking. And Leonov carries it back in. This is Zubrilchev, number 18. He lost it. Cleared along the boards. Courtnall couldn't haul it in, but it goes all the way down as Antipov skates back.
The Bruins are playing the body very well in their end. Not really taking the body, but knowing where every Soviet player is. And a minute ago when they had the face-off in the far corner over there, every Bruin had a player on the ice. Everyone knew where everyone was, and that's very important against the Soviets to know where for the Bruins to know where their man is on the ice.
Big line for the Bruins is out there now. Pedersen with Middleton and Courtnall. Kluzak at the point. His shot. That hit Courtnall in the back. Cleared down by the Soviets. Celine is back for 27 for Boston. Matt Celine. Courtnall. Line up the Soviet player. Number 7, Skurdak. Skurdak felt that one. Outside. Bruins called at the Soviet line. Pretty good hit.
Here comes the hit up. Courtnall's hit on the Soviet player, too, but it was a good straight hit, body to body, and Courtnall won that battle right there. Jeff Courtnall's come on to play very well for the Bruins lately. He was in limbo there for a while, didn't know which way he was going to go, but through injury, he got a chance to play, and he's really taken advantage of it. He's playing very good hockey for the Bruins right now.
And he was picked up as a free agent, so that makes him a very valuable commodity if he's playing well on this hockey team at this stage, doesn't it?
All free agents are valuable, John, especially if you're playing good.
Chance for the Bruins going in. Michigan stood his ground. That time on Randy Burridge, number 12. Bruins keep it in at the Soviet line. Verbuchen plays it around on the board. Now Varianov, number 12, got it ahead for Skurduk. Skurduk 7, got it in across the line, couldn't control. Bruins take off again. Crowder, good quick pass on the left side for Derlego. Derlego couldn't haul it in. Soviets dump it out once more as Curran and Skurduk mix it up along the board. This is Burridge. Derlego falls as he puts it inside the Soviet zone. And starting back for the Dynamo, Sashov with Antipov. Play broken up nicely by Pasine. This is Casper. Got to the line just inside, and the Soviets dumped it out again. Luchenkov, number 28 for the Moscow Dynamo. Lead pass for Sashov. Icing waved off. Bork tried to feed it through for Casper. Into the final minute of play in the period. As Borshevetsky, number 8 for the Soviets, takes a big hit. Nienhaus ran him in. Here's Nienhaus with Racine. Back to the line for Blum. Racine couldn't get a shot away, and Blum just dumped it into the corner. That's Casper with it. And the Bruins hang on for a face-off in the Soviet zone.
A great hit. A great hit by Nienhaus here coming up. You'll see Nienhaus hit the Soviet player. He's at full speed. He takes him right in the boards, and that hurts sometimes, John. Most of the time that hurts, too. But it resulted in a good opportunity for the Bruins by him taking the body here. Pasine picks the puck up, hits Casper, and they had a good scoring opportunity. Why? Because they got the body into the game. But the Bruins are controlling the body tonight, I think, very well. And they've really bottled up the Soviets in the neutral zone.
Well, I think, and maybe you'll agree, that playing on this ice surface, when you play on it week in, week out, year in, year out, it does give you an advantage to the style of hockey, and that's one of the reasons that the Bruins play this style of hockey, are so effective with it.
Yeah, they play to their building, and this is they play it very well too.
Peterson, Middleton, and Courtnall out there, kept into the line by Bork. He turned around and rifled a shot, missed in the save, and we've got a penalty coming up. It'll go against the Soviets. Middleton was hauled down.
Once again, John, this all developed from the Bruins winning the draw on the Soviet end. They've won, I'd say they've won 9 out of 10 draws in there, and they've resulted in a scoring opportunity, and in this case, a penalty to the Soviets.
That's the first penalty of the hockey game. Poyen is off. Evgeny Poyen. And it comes with 36 seconds to play in the period. So Peterson is out there with Middleton and Courtnall. Points patrolled by Kluzak and Bork on the power play. And that's the first penalty of the hockey game. This is Ray Bork feeding it in for Middleton. Middleton back for Kluzak. In for Middleton again. Out into the slot. And maybe one pass too many as the Soviets break out. This is Yashin. Yashin tried to get around Kluzak, and he was upended. 19 seconds left in the first period, and Keens goes down on a puck. A little miscommunication down there behind the Bruin goal.
Well, we had mentioned communication early. We thought it was the boards the first time, but it seems there is a communication back there near the Bruin net. I always like to see the goaltender be a chatterer, a guy that talked a lot. You don't have too many.
That wasn't your style, was it? You didn't
probably too much. I talk too much, but on the ice, and there's nothing wrong with talking. You know, when you can help your defense out, that's what you should be doing.
Yashin, Varnikov, and Svetlov out there for the Soviets. They are a man short. Bruins on the power play for 13 seconds left in this period. Yashin slipped around behind the net. Didn't really get a good opportunity, but the Bruins were a little careless. This is Courtnall. And Yashin touches it as the siren sounds to end period 1.
Well, John, I thought the Bruins controlled most of the play that period, and they won all the draws in the Soviet end. They knew where their man was in the Bruin end and played a very good brand of hockey. The goal the Soviets got was a mistake on Bork's part. He elected to gamble to intercept the pass. He missed it. The Soviet player had Keens at his mercy, and that was really the only flaw. And after that, the Soviets picked up for about a minute or two. They had a couple shots on Keens, too. But I thought the Bruins had a very good period. They had a good game plan. They executed it well. They took the body when it was available. They won the important draws, and I thought it was their period, really.
I enjoyed the first period, and it deadlocked at 1. The Moscow Dynamo and the Boston Bruins, lots more ahead. We'll get to our first intermission in just a moment. Okay, Jim, we look forward to this second period. If it's anything like the first, the Soviets have the big line out there. This Yashin, number 13, is quite a hockey player, and he plays with number 14, Svetlov, and Varnikov. Yashin, prior to this game for Dynamo, had contributed with 5 points in 6 Soviet goals scored by the Moscow Dynamo. Mike Milbury, we did mention, is an assistant coach with the Bruins, and he's behind the bench tonight. It's his debut against the Soviets.
Well, I would have picked an easier spot, I think, but Mike will do a good job.
Butch Goring is upstairs watching from overhead. First Butch, the head coach of the Boston Bruins. Second period underway as Ray Bork turns on the Jets. Bork into the Soviet zone, taken out by Yashin, 13. Power play for the Bruins for another 1 minute even. This is Middleton. Middleton takes the shot. He was on the short side. Bork moves in to keep it in the Soviet zone. Bork gets it back to Kluzak at the point. Kluzak the shot. It was a bullet drive, and it rolls along the boards and out into central ice. The Soviets. Barnikov had difficulty, number 22. Bruins have 37 seconds left in their power play. Doug Keen's around behind the net for Kluzak. Kluzak played it ahead on the right side boards for Derlego. And the Soviets tip it in across the Boston line. Offside, the faceoff will come just out.
Well, goaltender Keen's there. He seems to be having some problem, like we mentioned in the first period, with it seems to be Gordy Kluzak all the time. I know they might have an argument somewhere along the line, and they're not talking to each other, too, but they better start communicating. Probably the Soviets are going to take advantage of a miscue back there.
Soviets shorthanded for another 22 seconds. Second period just underway. Even at 1. Boston Bruins and the Moscow Dynamo. Kelvin. Number 22 for the Bruins. Now Curran. Back to Kelvin. Lining up with a shot. That one ricocheted just wide. The Soviets are back to full strength. Into the corner. Curran takes a pretty good check from Antipov. Out in front. And it was cleared aside just in the nick of time. Derlego now moves in with Curran back to the point. Curran couldn't keep it in. Brian Curran, native of Toronto. Backboard, Bruins. Quick to motor out of their own zone. This is Derlego. Across the line, Derlego lost it. Into the corner. Tried to backhand it out front for Burridge. Burridge to the boards for it now. Burridge flipped it back to the line, and Bork was caught moving out of position, couldn't keep it in. Now Blum for the Bruins. Ahead for Pasine, that didn't work.
The Bruins are on these Soviets awful quickly tonight, John, and they're not giving them a chance to get that freestyling system they have, what we talked about, too, but they're doing a terrific job here bottling them up.
Ray Bork picks it up. Behind the Bruin goal. Bork tried to slip it through for Nienhuis. Now it comes to Nienhuis. In across the line, that's Casper. And Nienhuis into the corner for it. Behind the net, Nienhuis. He has it. Nienhuis got it out for Casper. Casper couldn't play it. Now for the Soviets, Rudanov with Skurduk. And Casper back-checking, broke up the play. Tried to slip it ahead for Pasine. Pasine dumps it into the Soviet zone, and Mishkin is out of his goal. Nienhuis, good hit along the boards as he decked Popian that time, and they hold it for a face-off in the Soviet zone. 3 really hard hits by the Bruins.
This is Nienhuis' second hit of the night. This is about a 9 or a 10 again. He just puts that shoulder right into the Soviet, and just drops him too. He's a big, solid boy, Craig, and a free agent out of RPI. He's done very well for the Bruins this year.
Had a pretty good year last year with RPI, too.
Yeah, coming off a national champion, coming into his hometown, playing for the major league team. I'm sure he's pumped.
I would think so. Antipov at center ice for the Soviets. Couldn't get the draw that time. Miller backhanded one. It was a weak shot, but almost trickled through to Mishkin. Soviet defense there to play it. Middleton caught offside for Buchan. For Bilyaletdinov, number 17. Now Borshevetsky for the Soviets. And Trubukhin once more. This is Miller to the line. Slipped it through. Middleton couldn't catch up with it. Soviets take a 2-on-1 out of this one. Antipov has a man open. Borshevetsky and Keynes. A brilliant save by Doug Keynes on a wide open Nikolai Borshevetsky.
Well, 2-on-1s can be fatal against the Soviet team, and I give Gord Kluzak credit. He come back, and he just got his stick on him enough to disturb his shot, and Keynes played it properly. Come out, shut him off pretty good there, too, but Kluzak really hustled back to bother the shooter. He got his stick on him, and I think that saved the goal as much as Keynes' save was Kluzak's hustling back.
Face-off will be to the right of Doug Keynes now with 16:15 to play in the second period. 1-1 the score. The Dynamo and the Boston Bruins. Back to the line for the Soviets. Their shot failed to get all the way through. Derlego couldn't control it. Luchenkov played it over to the left wing. Barnikov over there couldn't control for the Soviets. Delvine got it in across the line. The shot, Mishkin the save. And there's a Bruin in on top of Mishkin in the Soviet goal. That's Jeff Burridge, number 12. Soviets on the offense now. Barnikov, 22, ridden out. And a penalty being signaled. It is a 1-1 hockey game and lots of hard hitting and lots of excitement here at the Garden in Boston tonight. This is the NHL 85-86 series with the Soviet Union.
We see Michael Telvin. He gets caught up with 22 of the Soviets, and he does have him here. Anytime you don't have two hands in your stick, you're eligible to be called for a holding too. I think that was a legitimate call, and we're going to see the first Soviet power play 25 minutes into the game now.
Telvin for holding, 4:34, face-off in the Boston zone. That's Ray Bork after it. Quickly rattled it off the board. Middleton tried to flick it out. Soviets have what they want, control in the zone. Hit around behind the net. Forced there at the side. That's Svetlov, number 14. This is Yashin, 13 for the Soviets. To Svetlov behind. Back to the line. Fake shot. Svetlov once more. Barnikov now, 22 along the board. Svetlov kept it in against Kasper. Barnikov working out in front. Barnikov still has it. Back to the left side point. Pervukin. In for Yashin. Pervukin once more. In for Barnikov. And Yashin. And a penalty coming up for the Soviets. Yashin is going off with Middleton getting dumped. So that evens things up.
Well, there's no question about that penalty, but the reason the Bruins got themselves into this position because they are aggressive killing this penalty. They didn't play a conventional box and let the Soviets move around. Ricky went right to the puck here. Ricky Middleton. Yashin, he gets the puck taken off him, and he pulls Ricky down. And I guess in frustration more than anything, too. But the key to that whole situation was that the Bruins were aggressive killing penalties. They didn't play the conventional box. They went to the puck as quick as they could. Bang, that resulted in a Soviet penalty.
So four skaters aside. Dinamo 1, Bruins 1. With 14:40 to play in the second period. For the Soviets, that's Leonov. In after it quickly. Oshikov, number 4. Oshikov coming up with the puck. Bork steered it off to the corner. Now Zabrilchev has it. Number 18, Zabrilchev working out in front. Keynes has saved. Zabrilchev claimed the rebound. Good scoring opportunity, and there's another one. Keynes, brilliant. Best save of the night for Doug Keynes. That time on Popien. Great excitement at the Garden in Boston. Fired just wide by Kluzak. Pedersen can't get to it in neutral territory. Now Colleen does. Got it to the line and across. Here's Zabrilchev. Number 18, Kluzak. Rode him off to both skaters. Ball to the ice as Jeff Courtnall picks it up for the Bruins. For Peterson, back for Courtnall. He couldn't control it. And after it, Vayatinov. Now Skurduk along the boards, working against Pasine. But an enormous save by Doug Keynes has kept it even in Boston.
Keynes made a great save in the play, John, too. He read it perfectly. I think he was the only Bruin on the ice that read that play, too. But he saw the Soviet defenseman come in and slid across and I think he got both legs on us. In fact, here it comes now. This guy has read it. All Bruins are caught up with the other players, and Keynes sees the defense coming in. Popien, and he makes a great save on him. Saves like that win hockey games for you.
Now the Bruins are back at full strength. 38 seconds left in the penalty to the Soviets. Yashin is off for dumping Middleton. Bruins have some pressure on in the Soviet zone. This is Derlego. Derlego for Colleen. Across to the other side for Raymond Bork. Bork to an open Derlego. Derlego going in. And Mishkin made a big save on Bill Derlego. Soviets right back to the offense. Skurduk, number 7, circling in front of the Bruin goal. Penalty coming out to Bork as Skurduk was dumped out in front of the Boston goal. And
I think that was Crowder, John. Yep. You see Keith drags the one leg here when we see the replay. Keith drags his left leg. Bang. He gets it to... That was a legitimate penalty. I wouldn't be listening to this crowd, but it is a legitimate penalty, too. And
Bork was right there. Crowder had skated away by the time the signal had come.
I really don't think there was any reason for that penalty to Keith. And sometimes Keith, in his frustrations, will take a penalty like that.
So 6 seconds left in the penalty to Yashin of the Soviets, and full 2 minutes up on the board beside Keith Crowder's name. Face off inside the Bruin line. Casper comes up with it after the draw. He has Kluzak. Kluzak open on the right side. Kluzak worked out in front. Couldn't get a shot away. And Svedlov. The Soviets back to full strength and score. Svedlov setting up Yashin on the power play. First power play goal for the Dynamo in 3 games. Here's a look.
This is a great pass by Svedlov. He hits Yashin, and I don't think any goaltender in the world is going to stop this. This goes right off the post, low, bang. That was a... Dougie shouldn't hang his head in that one. That was a tremendous shot, a good passing play, and you don't give Soviets time to shoot like that because it's in the net most of the time.
2-1 for the Dynamo, leading the Boston Bruins. And Crowder is back on the ice. Bruins back to full strength.
John, the Bruins can't alter their game plan because of that goal. It was a power play goal. It was a well-executed goal. They have to keep doing what they have been doing for the first 28 minutes of this game, and let's take the body and win the battle along the boards.
Face-off in the neutral zone. Yashin is out there for the face-off for the Soviets. That's the big line. Yashin, Svedlov, and Varnikov. Svedlov to the line. Lets it there for Varnikov. He is ridden out heartily by Curran. Loose puck out in front. And a miscue out in front of the Boston goal by the Soviets. There were a couple of players out there. Good scoring opportunity wasted. This is Curran for the Bruins. For Casper. Little pick play there. As Casper carried into the Soviet zone. Casper still has it. Casper around out in front. And Pacine couldn't get a shot away. Verbuchen cleared it down for the Soviets. Bork is back for it. Over on the right side. This is Bill Derlego. And this is Ray Bork. Bork, a good move. Couldn't get across the line. Controlling the puck. Nienhuis working along the boards. And the Soviets to the attack again. Antipod to the line. The shot. The save by Doug Keane. Crowder for the Bruins. Over on the left side for Nienhuis. Nienhuis chipped it into the Soviet zone. Quickly, it's out to neutral territory.
Well, the Bruins, they're trying to take the body, but the Soviets won't let them just about now. Offside.
Good call. Good call, Coach. 10:34 to play in the second period. The Dynamo lead the Boston Bruins by a goal. Face-off is just outside the Bruin line. Moscow Dynamo in control of a 1-goal lead at the midway mark of the second period. Luchenkov fires it in for the Soviets. Celine, 27, in after it. For the Bruins, it comes loose. Sashov for the Dynamo. Working against Celine. Now for Jay Miller. Miller goes to the right side. Kluzak. Kluzak couldn't come up with it. Miller again as the Bruins hit the line. 3 strong, fired wide. Ricocheting out to the point, kept in there by Tallinn. For the Soviets now, Sashov. Oh, got it over for Skurduk, and he didn't miss by much. Back to the line, kept in, at least momentarily. Now the Bruins get it out. Penalty coming up. As the Bruins are offside at the Soviet line. A little anxious there, but the penalty is going to the Soviets. Little hook out there, Jerry.
Well, there's no doubt about that. That was a hook. But the play developed when the Soviets missed the goal in 3-on-2. It was they got the three Soviet forwards got cut off the ice, and the last man that just had a hook to him, or it would have been a 3-on-1 for the Bruins too.
Kobe in for hooking. 10-20. Courtnall is out there with Peterson and Middleton. Bork, number 7, and Tallinn. Rather, 22, Telvin, the defense for the Boston Bruins.
Telvin's had a terrific year for the Bruins, especially on the power play too. With him and Bork back there, they're very dangerous once they get set up in the opposing team's end.
Bruins will take their time getting this rush organized. Now Bork leads the way. He has Middleton at center ice. Bork just dumps it in. Middleton in after it now. Telvin. This is Courtnall. Courtnall almost lost it at the line. Peterson had to go after it. Now it's cleared down the ice. Keens has to play it around behind his net for Bork. Peterson. Tight checking by the Soviets as they try and kill out this Boston power play. And the Bruins offside at the Dinamo line.
Soviets held the line well there, John. They forced that offside by staying right up in the blue line. They didn't give Raymond Bork a chance to get underway. See Ray Bork now, he's trying the shield. 3 of the Bruins have the shield on their helmets for the first time tonight. Raymond Bork, Barry Peterson, and Steve Kasper. And it's a result of Charlie Simmer's near tragic injury the other day, which Charlie's going to be all right in 3 or 4 weeks.
Apparently 3 weeks, and the prognosis is good for Charlie Zimmer, but he'll be in hospital a little while after suffering what looked like a much more serious eye injury. All eye injuries are serious, but what looked like a terribly serious injury against Buffalo the other night here in Boston. What do you think of the face masks and the guards and the visors, Jerry?
Well, I'm from the old school, you know, and I think it sometimes dictates that you can use your stick up high. And but if a player feels comfortable with it on, so be it. And I'm not so sure I'd try one, but
I like the protection aspect of it, but I find that watching the junior tournament last week, some of the players with the cages on were almost leading with their heads. It becomes almost a football helmet in some situations. And the sticks do have a tendency to get up a little higher. Bruins the attack now. Right wing pass for Steve Kasper. A little fire, but Kasper chases it into the corner. Kept in at the line and fired wide by Kluzak. Bruins still on a power play for the next 26 seconds. Bork the shot. Michigan the save. They score the down. Kasper was there to tie it up. 2-2.
Russian clears it right here, right to Bork. Bork didn't want to shoot here. He's looking for something else to. Finally, he has to shoot. A good low shot. Michigan makes the save, and Kasper's right at the side of the net. I think this is Stevie Kasper's first power play in years being with the Bruins. He's right in the golden spot there and tucks it right in.
Now, is Michigan out a little bit far on that one?
Well, you got to be out far in Bork, or he'll blow it by you, too. But when you see Michigan come up, someone should always be behind, especially on a power play.
Power play goal. Bruins are back to even. 2-2. Kasper, his 12th of the year from Bork. 7:39 to play. Second period. Keene plays it off the boards to get rid of Antipov. This is Delvin, number 22. Burridge banking it off the boards. Too far for Derlego. Antipov is back for it. Now, it's picked up by Leonov for the Soviets. Leonov working around Curran, getting out in front. Keene stood his ground. Leonov was down, out in front. And it is clear to the corner. Held along the boards. Temper square just a little bit. I don't think anybody took a very severe punch in the mush. Referee in charge of proceedings tonight is Dave Newell. And let's look back to how it began.
The Soviet takes little Randy Burridge into the boards. Derlego pushes the Soviet back to Burridge, and he comes out throwing a left there at the Soviet. I don't know who won this fight, but there's a lot of head grabbing and slapping going on there.
That wasn't a fight. NBA basketball coming up on TSN. Boston at Detroit, Tuesday, January 7th at 7:30 Eastern. Be with us for the NBA on TSN. Really, Jerry, that's not really much developed out here.
Well, maybe to the Soviets consisted of the fight, but not to the National Hockey League players. First of all, the faceoff should be out of their zone. All 5 Soviets got into the...
You'd be out arguing that one right now.
Oh, I would be.
Peterson with Cordnell and Middleton out there. Good drive for the Bruins as Kluzak skates up ice, dumps it in. Back for it. Moshikov. He takes a big hit. That was Cordnell on Boshikov. And this is Cordnell after it again. Boshikov tried to return the favor, but with not quite the velocity. Middleton moves in. The shot missed him to save. Cordnell working around. He scores!
Cordnell gets rewarded for two good hits. He holds on to the puck, comes in front, just slides it under Mishkin too. But he's being rewarded because he took the body the shift before. The Soviet knew that he was going to take the body when he come in that time. He backed off. Cordnell comes up with the puck and stuffs it under Mishkin. People in Victoria will be very happy for Jeff Cordnell. He's got 2 goals tonight, and he wanted to say hello to his folks out there.
Well, that's a pretty good way to get their attention.
Yeah, he's got their attention. Yeah, that's the easy way for us.
Casper and Cordnell have given the Bruins the lead for the first time. Here are the Soviets. Borshevetsky played it back behind his line. This is Perbukin, number 5. And it's called offside at the Moscow Dynamo blue line. Pretty good action, good hitting. Cordnell, a pretty good hit behind the net. You mentioned that on Perbukin. Perbukin came back 2 seconds later and tried to return the favor, but it really didn't have the impact that Cordnell's hit had.
Well, like I said, he was rewarded for a good hit.
3-2 the Bruins lead the Dynamo with 6:09 to play in the second period. Reed is out there as a center between Jane Miller and Keith Crowder now. That's Dave Reed. And this is Antipov for the Soviets. Standing up just inside the line. The Soviets having difficulty getting across. Reed in after it in the Soviet zone. Forced it. A miscue. Shot on Mishkin by John Blum as Bork moved in as well. Now the Soviets break out of their zone. Bork has his man lined up. And the puck slides out of danger. Back to the line. Vilyaletdinov kept it in for the Soviets. Not for long. This is Crowder. Crowder for Reed.
The Bruins are driving them back a little bit with their body.
Another hit in there. There's Jay Miller. Chance for Casper. Ridden off into the corner, but Casper still controls. The hit along the boards. Casper lined up number 5 for Buchan. Great action at the Garden. There's more ahead. The Boston Bruins have the lead at 3-2 on the Moscow Dynamo on goals by Casper and Courtnall here in the second period. And hard work has paid off.
Sure has. I think the last couple of minutes the Bruins have just driven the Soviet back into their end. They're having a tough time getting out right now.
After the faceoff, Casper chases it in behind the Soviet goal. Yashin is upended in his own zone. Good back-checking by Nienhuis for the Bruins. The shot at the line went all the way down. Icing waved off. Nienhuis keeps it in. Greg Nienhuis working out in front. Michigan the save. He wasn't expecting a shot. Selvin along the boards. Now the Soviets come out. Chance for a 2-on-1. 1-on-1 anyway. Svedlov drops it back. Back for Svedlov. And it went off his leg and just over top and landed on the net. Svedlov took the pass. It was a little high and bounced off his leg and ended up on the mesh.
Well, it looked like a 2-on-1 was developing. Tallinn hustled back. Thelvin, hustled back. And the Bruins got lucky there. The puck ended up bounced everywhere, including on top of the net, too. But I think once the puck starts bouncing, it's the 2-on-1s aren't as dangerous as they are with a flat puck.
Derlego moves to center for the Bruins. Flanked by Crowder and Burridge. Now this is Tallinn, 27. His pass just about cost the Bruins. Now Derlego reclaims it for Burridge. Burridge a little behind Bill Derlego. And Antipov for the Soviets starts the Dynamo out. Pass for Popian on the left wing, and the play broken up just inside the Boston line. Crowder for Derlego. Good move by Derlego. The move in a little bit closer. 2-on-1 Soviets led this time by Leonov. He was wide. Antipov now for the Dynamo moving in. Antipov worked out in front. And Derlego.
Bruins are taking too many chances with this type of lead this late in the period. It can be fatal against the Soviets.
John Blum broke it up. And now the Dynamo come to the Boston line. And are called offside. You want the Bruins to tighten up a little bit, do you?
Well, at this time of the game, it's a shame that the Soviets should get a goal going into with 3 minutes left in the second period with the Bruins leading 3-2. But Matt Tallinn, I'm sure that the Bruins, when the defenseman elects to go in, has the third man back. In that particular case, they didn't have one back, and Tallinn should have stayed back.
Ford plays it over on the right side for John Blum. Blum, short pass ahead for Middleton. He couldn't control. Rudnov, while the Soviets starts the Dynamo back. To the Bruin line, Rudnov checked from behind by Middleton. Kept in at the line. Long shot by Pervukin, and Keen's saw it coming all the way.
Once again, the Bruins are taking their assignments in their own end and doing it very good tonight. Keen's had a good eye in the puck as soon as it left the stick. And there wasn't a Soviet in sight for this defenseman to pass to. So the Bruins are doing a very good job on their end, taking the man they're supposed to take.
Reed moves to center ice, number 26. He's got Jay Miller out there with him, and Keith Crowder. On defense, it's Blum and Bork for a key face-off. Soviets win it. Keen's the save, another save as Keen goes down. Keen took a pretty hard shot on the shoulder.
He sure did, but that's a result of losing the draw in year end, too. They have David Reed, who is a left winger naturally, taking the draw here. And if they don't correct that, the Soviets are going to get another chance from this face-off coming up, too. but he lost the draw. Keens is very good with his legs tonight. He's been excellent with his legs.
Comes loose over on the left wing for Miller. He hurried his pass. Crowder was over there going against the Soviet defenseman, Rabukin, without a stick. Soviets play it back to the line. It's kept in. Deflection out in front. They score! And I think you might have called that one.
Well, Doug made a couple good saves here, but you just can't get away letting them have the opportunities they're having right here. They keep it in here, the Soviet defense. Dougie makes a good save there.
Look, two Soviet players right out in front. Yeah. Three of them. 3-2.
It went between his legs. It's one of the few times tonight they got caught with not being able to take their man in their end.
Nikolai Varianov, 17:42, has things even. So now with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left to play, Bruins move to the attack offensively. Courtnall ahead for Curran. Peterson in after it. Middleton out for Peterson. He's up by Antipov. Now comes to Middleton. This is Peterson out in front. Middleton couldn't get to it. And Curran is tied up at the point. Courtnall fired one well wide of the target. Comes in behind it and rolls around for Courtnall once more. He plays it for Middleton. Out for Courtnall. Telvin pinching in, number 22. This is Telvin. He lost it. And Telvin going against Sashov. Sashov comes up with it. Soviets almost got a good scoring chance out of that as Sashov sent it over for Borshevetsky. Now for the Bruins. Here's Courtnall. Nice pass to Middleton. Courtnall, a blistering drive. And Mishkin almost ducked on that one. It rattled off the glass. Here's Courtnall, another chance. Courtnall slid it over that time. Had time to shoot, slid it over. Back there for Kluzak. He banned on the shot. Here come the Soviets. Svetlov leaving it for Yashin. For Antipov. And for Svetlov in the corner. Svetlov out for Yashin. Keens, a great save on Bilyaletdinov, who'd moved in from his defensive spot. This is Bilyaletdinov once more, 17 for Varianov. Soviets to the line, and across Svetlov, the shot. That one blocked by Tallinn. And the Bruins get it out of the way with 19 seconds left in the period.
Well, they waved that icing off, John.
Good break for the Bruins, the way they've been playing in the last 2 or 3 minutes. A little scrambly. But they'll come out of this period even with the Moscow Dynamo at 3. I found you were quite astute there as you suggested the Bruins might be being a little confused back behind the blue line there, and it cost them the equalizing goal.
It sure did. In the last 3 minutes, it's a shame that you allowed the opposition to have the opportunities they had in the last 3 minutes, especially with the 3-2 lead that they did have. And it can only be bad vibes going into the dressing room. And they just have to go in and readjust, because it was the only bad part of their game was the last 3 or 4 minutes in the second period.
Anyway, pretty good hockey continues at the Garden in Boston. The Moscow Dynamo 3 and the Boston Bruins 3. Lots more ahead. You're with the Sports Network, TSN. And this is the NHL Soviet Series 85-86. Vladimir Mishkin in goal for the Soviets. Jerry, at certain points of this hockey game, to me, he's looked a little bit shaky. He's made the saves, but looked a little shaky.
Well, I said at the start of the program, John, that I liked his attitude, his personality. He was jolly. But evidently the Bruins feel they have to shoot high on him. And you know, if he keeps taking these high shots, he took one off the helmet in the second period, he's not going to be very jolly much more, too. But they're trying to shoot high on him. I know that.
Vladimir Mishkin. He is known as the best goalie in the Soviet Union, currently active today. Third period underway, and the Soviets quick to the attack. Svetlov almost snuck in around Bork. Now Yashin tries it. And it comes to Pedersen for the Bruins. For Bork. Bork to the line. Still has it. Ray Bork took a backhand shot. That off a stick. Out in front. Ilya Leftinoff cleared it out of the way. Now Middleton into the corner. Courtnall out in front. And that one off his skates. And it comes to Mishkin. He played it around behind the net. Soviets dump it in. It comes to Courtnall. For the Bruins, Courtnall flipped it back to the neutral zone. Middleton after it, couldn't come up with it. This is Yashin for the Dynamo. Now Kluzak back at his own line. Middleton just tips it into the Soviet zone. Now the Soviets, Antipov, back pass over on the right side. This is Sashov. Sashov shot blocked. Antipov couldn't come up with a rebound. The Bruins have it into the neutral zone, but it's in across the line, an offside call.
Gordy Kluzak, first-round draft choice a few years ago by the Bruins. He sat out the last game the Bruins played, the 4-0 victory over Buffalo, and I feel a little bit for Gordy too, because he's a terrific kid. And he works very hard at the game, and he's coming off a year absence from the game, and you keep saying give him time too, but he works hard, and I'm sure he'll come back to be the player he's supposed to be.
He's looking very strong tonight. Nienhuis for the Bruins. Got away from a check along the boards. Sashov for the Soviets. To the Boston line. The shot. Keens the save. Kicked it out. Antipov coming in. And Keens was down. Good save for Doug Keens. 3-3 with over 18 minutes to play in the third period. Moscow Dynamo and the Boston Bruins. Kluzak ahead for Nienhuis. He dumps it in. Facine goes after it. Facine got a stick on it and got it to the side of the Soviet goal. Mishkin didn't have to make a play. Now Veryanov. Long shot. Keens escape save. Perudinov for the Soviets into the corner. Nienhuis clears it around behind the net. Now Perudinov has it. Perudinov in for Skirdak. This is Skirdak winding up with a shot. That off the leg. Perudinov. And Skirdak comes up with it again. Skirdak trying to work out front against Curran. Back to the line. Bosikov, the shot, blocked. Soviets keep it in at the line. That's Perudinov, number 20. And now the Bruins regain possession and clear it down to the Soviet zone. Yashin for Veryanov. Back for Yashin. Good move by Derlego at center ice for the Bruins. Derlego left it there for Burridge. Shot to the side of the net. Good try for Crowder. And fired wide that time by Burridge. Yashin goes down. Bork is back behind his line to clear it on the boards on the left side. Svetlov leaving it there for Ilya Leftinoff. Soviets outside is Svetlov. A little too speedy that time. Even at 3 with 16:14 to play in the final period. John Wells along with Jerry Cheevers and Jim Van Horn at the Boston Garden. 3-3 the score. The Dynamo and the Bruins. Ray Bork for Boston. Tried to get it over on the right side for Pedersen. And the Soviets, Varnikov to the line. Tried to slip it through for Svetlov. That didn't work. Varnikov across the line, thrown off stride by Blum as Varnikov slides into the corner. Ilya Leftinoff. Yassin, 13. He lost it. Here's Middleton. Chance for the Bruins. Middleton going in with Peterson. Shot. Oh! Missed the target. Great scoring opportunity.
Well, Rick Middleton made a tremendous play here. He set up Barry Peterson cold turkey, and Courtnall makes a tip to Rick. Rick Middleton comes in. He makes a great play. He's got great reach, Ricky. Over to Barry, and Barry elects to go high in the glove side and just misses the net. You know, you got to make the goaltender save it. And Barry elected to go high and just missed the top glove corner there.
Soviets now, chance here for 25, Antipov. Into the corner after it. Leonov. Leonov ridden out by Kluzak. It comes to Kasper. To Nienhouse. Tried to get it ahead for Basin. Soviets pinching in. Mayasanov kept it in. Leonov working along the boards. And now Sashov. Out in front they score. Glushenkov took the shot. It deflected out in front, and Keens didn't see that one. 4-3, Moscow Dynamo.
Well, anytime you put a shot near the net, it's always a dangerous situation here.
Glushenkov in here, 28.
Glushenkov, he just directs it towards the net. There's a pile up in front of the net. I'm not so sure if it went off his stick or off his skate. But there's no way they couldn't have counted it because he didn't direct it purposely, Leonov.
Yuri Leonov has given the Moscow Dynamo a 4-3 lead. Glushenkov was actually shooting from back behind the red line.
All he wanted to do was put it on the net. Funny things happen when you do that.
Tough break for Keens and the Bruins. Leonov has given the Dynamo a 4-3 lead. This is Perudinov. Michigan comes out to set it up for Bosakov. Bruins back in their own zone with 14:56 to play, third period. Good pass on the left side for Burridge. Burridge winding up the shot, not wide by much. Crowder pinching in. Couldn't control the rebound. Soviets start back. Veryanov over on the right side for Skurduk. Shot fired wide by Veryanov, number 12. Bosakov for the Soviets. Pass goes too far. He intended that for Perudinov.
Bruins got to be patient here, John. They had a lot of time to get the equalizer.
Yashin now for the Soviets to the line. Waiting. Played it over. Keens out of position, got back in time. Now a chance, and they score. Keens was caught out of position, and Svetlov gives Moscow a 5-3 lead. Sergei Svetlov.
The Soviet player goes down the left side here, and he just holds as long as he can. Dougie's committed here. He's got to come out at him because he's in alone there, and he just holds, tries to stuff it. Bork says it goes right over to Svetlov, and he just blasts it in the open net. They don't miss those.
Keens was down and out of the play. Quickly, it's a 2-goal advantage for the Dynamo. Obviously, Jerry, the Bruins not patient enough.
No. They got to realize there's a lot of time left. They got to get back, taking the body, and don't let them freewheel like they have in the first 5 minutes.
This is Craig Nienhouse. Pass for Kasper. A little too far. Serbukin touches it, and it'll be called icing against the Bruins. 13:35 to play. The Bruins are in quite a race in that Adams division.
There's 7 points separating the top and the bottom. You know, a 3-game winning streak will put you in top, and a 3-game losing streak will put you on the bottom.
Right,
so it's a tough division. It's a good division, the Adams division. Very competitive.
Going into tonight, Quebec and Montreal even atop the standings. Boston standing in third spot, 3 points back of that. Soviets to the line once more. It drifted out just slightly. And Sashov took a shot. Bruins cleared in. This is Basin after it. Racing against Passalon. Passalon couldn't come up with it. What the Soviets do. This is Antipov, number 25. Checked from behind by Nienhouse. Nienhouse put it right off Basin's stick. Basin going in the shot. Michigan the save as Kasper cruised in.
Dave Basin is a very talented goal scorer, too, and he's got a little Mike Bossy in him. Niehaus makes a good pass to him here. Comes in off his opposite wing. He holds, falls away, and gets it right up once again to the glove side of Michigan. I think maybe they've got Michigan set up now. They better start going low if they want a chance to get back into this game.
Michigan is standing up and waiting. Berianov out there with Skurduk and Perudinov face off in the Soviet zone. Cleared around behind the net by Vozikov. This is Perudinov. Shot keen to save, that time on Berianov. Berianov coming up with it again. Bruins a little sloppy in their own zone. Berianov fired it wide. Kept in at the Bruin line. Good play by Berianov. Into the corner. Perudinov after it. Working against Curran. Curran comes up with the puck. Ahead for Crowder. Now Perudinov again. Perudinov working with very little ice down there and controlling. Skurduk moves in. Perudinov is number 20. And finally it comes to Derlego. 5-3. Bruins trailing the Moscow Dynamo as Derlego fires it in. Niehaus in after it. And a pretty hefty check on the Soviet down there. Popikin. 12:06 to play in the final period.
Well, the Bruins are getting off their game a little bit here. They're just panicking a little bit, and they're shooting in from. They're not thinking shooting it in to the Moscow zone. Here we see Crowder in this big hit on Popikin. He just levels him two on the icing.
Face-off is in the Bruin zone. It comes behind the net. This is Ray Bourque. Bourque was looking for Peterson up the middle. It goes all the way down. Backboard for the Soviets. Pervukin, number 5. He clears it for Yashin. And it's whistled down. Yashin thought he might have a play on that one.
Well, come through May's a player, and it just could have easily been waved off a two-line pass. But the referees elected to call it a two-line pass. One thing I've been impressed with, John, is the Bruins' ability to win the face-offs at each end of the rink. And if they can get a couple more draws in the Soviet end, it should result in some scoring opportunities.
Ray Bourque takes it back behind his own line and right back behind Doug Keenes. 5-3, Dynamo leading. 11:35 to play in the final period. Bilyaletdinov misses. Middleton.
If you're going to make a mistake, you don't make it with Rick Middleton challenging you. He's got a great reach, holds, sticks it on the glove side of Michigan.
Just banked it off the post. Kind of cute.
Sure did. Here's the mistake here, the miscue. Rick, like a hawk, takes advantage of it, holds it, throws it right in the left glove side of Michigan. You know, Rick's been struggling scoring goals this year, too, but his prowessness in his checking department, he hasn't lost that. He's had a real good year checking-wise, and maybe a goal like this will break him out in the future.
Well, there's lots to go in this hockey game with 11:32 to play. Middleton has the Bruins back within a goal. Ray Bourque fires one wide. And then Bourque moving in, missed it. 2-on-1 for the Soviets. Antipov with Leonov. And Bourque got back in time to be a factor. Soviets try and clear it out in front. Sashov takes a mugging behind that Boston goal. Another good hit along the boards. For the Bruins, 2-on-1, but Courtnall didn't see it. Bourque over to Courtnall. Courtnall with Middleton in. Couldn't get it through for Middleton. Popikin against Middleton. And it's cleared out by the Soviets. Perudinov to the trailing man, Glushenkov. Well blocked, beautifully played by Telvin, 27. Great action here as Telvin goes back behind his own line. Bozakov lost it in the center ice zone. This is Kasper. Away from the check. Kasper still has it. Tried to play it out in front. Off a skate. Perudinov checked from behind by Ninaus. And for the Soviets now, Skurduk. Skurduk into the corner for Perudinov. Out in front. Keen got a stick on it. Cleared it away. Ninaus couldn't control it. Comes to the line. Kept in by the Soviets. Verbuchen didn't take the shot. Kasper still going in. Mishkin stood his ground as Kasper moved in. That time with Nienhuis. Nienhuis had the opportunity for the line. Talbot just misses. Rebound out to Kasper. He just missed. Kusin now back to the line. Fed in. Out in front. And it's banked off a stick by Curran. Mishkin grabs onto it to save a heart attack.
I sure did. I think everyone in the building wanted to stoppage of play there. Mishkin was the closest guy and decided to stop the play too. But the Bruins had them going there, and that was a real great shift for the Bruins too. Once again, this game has shifted. The Soviets come out after the 2 quick goals and had control. The Middleton goal ignited the Bruins.
Well, it has been a highly entertaining hockey game thus far. At 5-4, Dinamo leading the Boston Bruins. The possibility of a tie definitely exists, and that might even mean overtime. 9:16 to play, third period.
Bruins really can't take any chances defensively now. They got it going a little their way, and they just have to hang loose, be patient, and they'll get their opportunities.
That's your key word for the Bruins. Be patient.
Patient, sure is, especially against the Dynamo here.
Verbuchen got it ahead on the right side. Yashin couldn't take the pass, but it comes to Varnikov. Varnikov, Yashin out in front. Keen, big save, a little help from Bork. Soviets still trying to control in the Boston zone. Now Keith Crowder starts out. Crowder goes to the left side for Burridge. Burridge has trouble along the boards. And they'll hold it for a face-off in the Soviet zone. 8:48 to play, final period.
John, you can say what you like, but players try to ho-hum a game like this. But once it starts, there's no ho-humming in this game too. They're both playing very hard hockey.
I think a ho-hum happens in an exhibition game, even of playing the Soviets, when one of the other teams comes out with a big lead. But if it's close most of the way, then the emotion and the tension flows right through the game. 2 or 3 goal lead can change it around. Here's Bork. That one. Ricochet to the corner. Varnikov. Bork. Courtnall. Courtnall has it in. Middleton races after it. Kept in by Blum. Not quite. And as Middleton touches it, offside called against the Bruins. Number 13, Yashin, has 4 goals and 3 assists in 3 games for this Moscow Dynamo team.
Getting back to the point I mentioned earlier, John, the face-offs have been so important tonight. The Bruins are, I would say, 90% control of them too. I'm trying to think back of when how these in the 72 series and 74 how strong they were, and I don't think it's not how strong they were. They've never been this weak.
Blum touches it. Icing called against the Dynamo. Anti-Bob and Blum. We're not speaking kindly to each other down there.
This is a key face-off for the Soviet. Barry Peterson will be taking the draw for the Bruins.
Peterson won that last one so cleanly, too.
And I'm trying to think back of how strong the Russians have been in the past in face-off, and I really can't remember, but it's very evident tonight that the Bruins are just controlling every face-off. Once again,
Bork got the shot. It was weak. It's back to Bork again. Off the stick that time. Courtnall got it through for Middleton. And it was gloved ahead from one player to another and whistled down. So another face-off here.
This is all a result of a missed face-off again. Courtnall makes an a push over to Middleton in the front, and Michigan really used the poke check to his advantage there.
Courtnall really played that well. It was a bouncing puck. He was lucky to get it through.
Yes, he did. I don't know where the Soviets practice tomorrow, but I know what they're going to be doing for an hour. Face-offs. It might be on Main Street in Buffalo somewhere, but they're going to be practicing them.
Peterson the face-off for the Bruins. Didn't win it cleanly that time, and the Soviets take control. This is Skurduk over for Perudinov, number 20, Perudinov. Tried to set it up out in front with 7:53 to play. Boston trailing by a goal. The Moscow Dynamo. Courtnall couldn't quite catch up to it. Now he does. Courtnall with Middleton. Courtnall shot. Middleton was open. Courtnall elected to take the shot. Varianov into the Boston zone once more. That line has played well tonight. Courtnall, Middleton, Peterson for the Boston Bruins.
This has been their strongest line tonight, the Middleton, Courtnall, and Peterson line. Rick Middleton, he's had a tough time putting the puck in the net this year, but as I said earlier, he's a terrific checker. He's one of the top checkers in the league, and you know, when they picked the Selke Award winner, they failed to look at guys who get 40 or 50 goals, like Ricky does, and accumulates 100 points. They don't think they're good checkers. Ricky Middleton is a top checker.
Former Lady Byng winner back in 1982.
You know, if you're in a little slump scoring goals and you can't check, you wouldn't be in the league.
Loose in the central zone now. Kluzak tried to get it ahead for Basine on the right side. Soviets to the Boston line. Head through. Kluzak gobbled up the rebound. Svetlov for Yashin. Yashin was looking for Svetlov to move down the left side. Svetlov now moving in. Couldn't control it. Kluzak into the corner after it for Boston. Kluzak dumps it in. Basine in after it. Working against Verbuchen. Now Blum pinching in. Blum overskated it. Knocked down by Blum, coming back to the line. Basine touched it. And it went wide. Yashin for the Soviets. Bork is tripped up on the play. Now Basine back checking, comes up with it. To the Soviet line. This is Dave Basine, still in the puck, cleared it out. Heavy hit along the board. Bork the shot. Blocked by the Soviet defense. Bozakov out in front. Just missed. Michigan. Soviets on the offense. Leonov working against Blum. That was a great shift for Blum. Another good hit down there. Sashov tried to get it out in front. Leonov now working in behind the Boston goal. Two Bruins take him out. And Blum gets it to the line and out. Keane finally makes the save. Thought he might hang on to it, but it's cleared down by the Bruins, who needed fresh troops badly.
Great action here, John. A tremendous save by Michigan at the Soviet goal.
Flipped in by Crowder. That's Derlego after it. Glushenkov beat him to it. Crowder couldn't keep it in at the line. Kelvin, number 22 for the Bruins. For Crowder, he ran into Kolpian in the Soviet zone. And after it, Derlego. 5 minutes left in the final period. The Bruins trail by a goal. It's 5-4 Dynamo. And here they come. Setting off the shot. Broke a stick. Curran was there to block it. This is Burridge. With Crowder skating in, Burridge trying to feed it back. Perudinov got it to the line. And it's flipped out by Skurduk. Fired in by Telvin. Middleton is out there for the Bruins now. with Peterson. Here's Jeff Cordnell for Boston. Cordnell for Peterson.
Soviets are just dumping it out now. They're not taking any chances with 4 minutes left.
They'll try the left side. Jeff Cordnell got in, but not very deep. And the Soviets start back. Baryanov and Yassin. Svedlov. Now here's Middleton. Ahead for Cordnell. Back for Middleton. Middleton, great puck control to the backhand. Mishkin the save. Middleton fed it out in front and cleared aside quickly. Getting around Baum is Svedlov. Svedlov going right in on Keens. He scores! Svedlov makes it 6-4 as he walked in alone on Doug Keens. Great chance for the Bruins at the other end of the ice for Middleton. But Svedlov comes right back to increase the lead to 2 goals.
Yep, Blum was in between going for the puck or the body, too. And the great speed of this player, Svedlov, come in. He holds once again, cuts to the middle, and just backhands it by Doug Keens. He was coming with great speed there, and any time a player comes with the speed that Svedlov had there, it's tough for a goaltender. But Ricky Middleton made a brilliant play at the other end to be stymied by the Soviets, and the Soviets come back and get this, which I think will be the clincher.
It might be the clincher. 3:34 to go, though. Bruins had tremendous pressure on. The Dynamo, looking for their first win of this series, have 2 from Svedlov. Let's look at Middleton and how close he really was.
This is just before the Svedlov goal. Rick Middleton from Courtnall. These guys have been all over the ice tonight. He holds, hangs it up, comes in, goes to the backhand, hits the side of the net, retrieves it, throws it in front, and boom, he hits the Soviet player, and off they go.
Svedlov has 3 goals and 5 assists in 3 games. Keens out of his net. Got back in time after taking Sashov neatly out of the play. Chance for Kasper. Here's Steve Kasper. Man open on the left side. And Facine in the middle. Nienhuis took the shot. Mishkin the save. This is Bork moving in. Kasper got a skate on it. Cleared out by the Soviets. 3 minutes to play. As Telvin goes back for the Boston Bruins. Nienhuis into the corner for Facine. Around behind, this is Kasper. Kasper back to the line. And for Kasper again. Nienhuis. Curran moves in. Curran likes to stick his nose in there too, doesn't he?
This is a good time for him to be in there. They're down by 2 with 2 minutes left.
Skurdok and Bosikov lead the Soviet attack. Now in behind the Boston goal. Here's Peterson, 1 man to beat, and the goaltender. Mishkin makes the save. Good shot from Peterson.
Barry can do that very well. Go to his right and let that shot go. He got a good one in that shot.
Less than 2 minutes to play. Final period. Peterson in for Kluzak. Now comes to Middleton. Middleton for Peterson. Peterson the shot. Mishkin the save. Loose out in front. Yashin for the Soviets. Checked from behind by Peterson. Shot by Courtnall. Blocked by the Soviet defense. They're just bunching up in front of Mishkin. Now a 2-on-1. 3-on-2. Out in front, Keens holding the fort. And a good save in behind Doug Keens by Kluzak. Here's Jeff Courtnall. Courtnall couldn't control. Back to the line, kept in by Bork. Nobody at the point. The Bruins are all in. Last minute of play in the period as Yashin comes down with Svedlov. That's Derlego trailing. Svedlov plays it back. Back for Yashin, back for Svedlov. Antipov is out in front. They take a shot, sharp angle. By Antonov. and along the boards, and tempers flare just a little bit down there. With 38 seconds left in the period, the Dynamo hang on to a 2-goal lead.
Here's the hit by Courtnall. The arms come up, but the Soviet player got his stick up, and I think Courtnall had all the right in the world to take a shot at him, too. Watch the stick come up here. The left hand of him went up, and Courtnall... Well, they call that elbowing, but it's actually the glove, the top part of the glove you put on your stick, and the Soviet player was just protecting himself from a hit by Courtnall, and he got the glove up there, and it's easy to say that Jeff should have not taken the penalty with him too, but sometimes you can't take that. And this isn't for the Stanley Cup or anything, so I feel Jeff had a right to go back and drill him one.
Well, penalties to Courtnall then, and Piatinov of the Soviets. Now they've called for a measurement of the stick. Mike Milbury's going to try it, I guess.
Well, when you're down 2 goals with 38 seconds left, you have nothing to lose, too. But the Soviets are supposed to play by the NHL standards, and
full NHL rules on the tour.
Yeah, right. And if it's, I'm pretty sure he's going to get the penalty. In fact, if the Soviet sticks are what I can remember them, they're like they should have got a 5-minute major, because they use the biggest hooks I've ever seen.
And the Soviet bench, the coaching staff saying, I don't know if they're saying good one or what, but it's 38 seconds remaining on the clock. Courtnall is in the box for the Boston Bruins, but Yashin has now moved into the penalty box for the Soviets.
Well, the first penalties are coincidental, too, so they'll be playing 5 on 4.
Well, I guess where there's a will, there's a way, where there's a little bit of hope. 38 seconds. Good chances for the Bruins. Michigan has played well in the third period.
Yes, he has. Very good. It's not against the rules. I don't know why Milbury wouldn't call it again in the next shift.
Should have gone to it one more time. They got Yashin. He'd be a pretty nice guy to keep in the penalty box for a while during a hockey game like this.
He's a fine hockey player, Yashin.
Had a good night. So the faceoff will be just outside the Boston blue line. 38 seconds, as mentioned, remaining in the final period. Bruins trail by 2. Here's Bork. Ahead for Kasper. Kasper for Nienhuis. Nienhuis got it across the line, but there are 2 Soviets there, and they're eager to dump it out. 24 seconds left on the clock. Bork fed it over for Kasper. Now Keynes is out of the net. Nienhuis out in front. Bork moving in, and it's knocked down by Tallinn. Here's Middleton cruising in. Just 7 seconds left now as Middleton tries to control it in behind that Soviet goal. 3 seconds left on the clock. There's one chance for Boston with 38 seconds left and the manpower advantage.
Well, John, this was a very well-played game. I thought both teams had their periods of playing well, and I thought the Bruins got out of their plan during the third period. They tried to hit laterals up the middle and have breakaways, but their success dealt from taking the body in the Soviet end.
Final 3 seconds now. Kasper taking the draw for Boston, and he can't do much with it. They fire the shot. Michigan makes the save, and that's the hockey game. 6-4 is the final score in favor of the Moscow Dynamo. One interesting note I thought you made in the dying moments of the second period. The Bruins had to be a little more patient at that point, and they were leading 3-2. Quickly it was 3-3 for the Soviets.
Yeah, that was a tragic point for the Bruins the last 3 or 4 minutes in the second period, because the Soviet come out in the third period and took the game over for a while, and took it over enough that when the Bruins had their spurt, they could still control the game too. So I feel the last 3 or 4 minutes in the second period was probably the key to the game. That and a save Michigan made when it was 5-4 for the Soviet. He made a great leg save on Nienhuis.
Well, traditional handshake at international hockey time. I know you don't agree with this.
Well, I just like to know what they say to each other, and if they mean what they say. I've never shaken hands in my life. Maybe the odd goaltender because we all come out of a union, and I just don't. If you don't mean it, I really don't think shaking hands too. But it was a very entertaining game. The Moscow team played very well.
We enjoyed it, and the final score reads the Moscow Dynamo 6 and the Boston Bruins 4. You're with the Sports Network, TSN.